So I think I was wrong about the 2024 S650 Mustang GT. Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning into another video. Today we're going to be talking about why I think I was wrong about the 2024 Mustang GT and a lot of the S550 Mustang owners who did not want to upgrade and said the S650 Mustang wasn't the right move. Now I have this 2019 Mustang GT, which is the S550. I think it's the refresh model, so it's got the Gen 3 Coyote and the 10-speed transmission. I've also driven a 2024 Mustang GT with the Gen 4 Coyote and the 10-speed transmission, so I've had my fair share of seat time in that S650 Mustang, and I really want to address three key areas in this video. It's going to be the price, the interior, and also tuning the Mustang. Alright, so there's no secret that the prices have gone up considerably compared to the S550 Mustang to the S650 Mustang. The GTs are starting at $42,000. You can get a GT Premium, it's like $47,000, and don't even get me started on the Mustang Dark Horse, which is a $60,000 car. If I was to buy my same S550 Mustang with the same packages like the 401A, blackout package, active exhaust, it would cost me around $8,000 to $10,000 more in MSRP than I paid for this car, which of course tells you that everything has gone up and the prices are just absolutely crazy for a Mustang. But the reality is that's not just this car, and I know it's easy to say that the Mustangs have gone up in price and it's no longer an affordable car or affordable pony car, which I do agree with, but nothing is affordable in terms of cars. Even the C8 Corvette for 2020 was a $60,000 car, and in 4 years it has gone up to $70,000 car, which is about a $10,000 MSRP increase on the Corvette. So the Mustang is obviously no different. It's also seen price increases. Of course, mine's a 2019. So in 5 years, you're bound to see price increases, and with everything that happened, that kind of made it even more unaffordable. So I'm not saying the price increase is justified, especially for if someone who has a Gen 3 Coyote motor with the 10-speed. If you go to Gen 4, there's not much of a difference. So I'm not going to say that the price increase is 100% justified. It's not. But when you really take it in consideration what is around it, in terms of what you can get, I think it makes a little bit more sense why we can see the price increases, and because all the competition prices have gone up. So now it's not just the Mustang doing a lazy refresh where the MSRP has gone up $5,000 to $6,000 for a base GT, but you're not getting much more, but you could go to the competition and get a much cheaper car. That is not the reality. Now, next up, I want to talk about the interior, which is probably the most controversial part of the S650 Mustang, that no one likes those tablet design or tablet screens. And I was also in the same camp when they first was revealed, that I didn't really like how it looked. But to be honest, that the interior has grown on me. It is one of those interiors that every car manufacturer is pretty much copying. So when you have a traditional layout or traditional looking interior like the one I have on my S550, it looks extremely dated compared to the S650 and all the newer cars out there. So Ford decided to obviously make sure the interior is modern, so as it tries to get new buyers, they're not going to sit in the car and while they love the V8, while they love the option of having the manual transmission, they're like, what the heck is this interior? This is a very basic interior and does not have those fancy screens that all the manufacturers are doing, which, believe it or not, you may not like the screens, but a lot of younger buyers tend to favor those screens, and to them that's a modern looking interior, which may not be the case for us. So Ford made the right move to make those screens, make it basically a modern interior where people actually want to get that car because it looks very modern from the interior. Because obviously with the exterior, the changes aren't significant. It looks very similar to the S550, but the interior is where a lot of things have changed, especially because of these screens. So yeah, whether you like the interior or not, I think is the right move for Ford to modernize the Mustang's interior. It still retains a lot of Mustang graphics and, you know, those video game graphics. It has all the customization you would want from a Mustang. So it's not like, you know, a regular interior with those screens. They still try to customize it for the Mustang buyers. Now, last up I want to talk about is modding the Mustang or tuning the Mustang. Of course, when you get a Mustang, you want to modify it, you want to increase the power, you want to fuel the power. And that's what Mustang has always been about, modifying it, getting the right horsepower for your need. And with no tuning available to the S650 Mustang, that's been a huge drawback compared to the S550 Mustang, because you just can't tune it. And without tune, obviously you can't squeeze every bit of horsepower. And that's where I feel like a lot of the buyers aren't grasping the situation. And I was one of them where I said it needs to have tuning available to make any serious power. However, the reality is as you may have seen from all these videos over YouTube, that you can still put an intake, you can still put a cat back, you can even put long tube headers, and you don't need a tune for those. And that's pretty much the basic bolt-on setup everyone will do. If you look at S550 basic bolt-on setups, that's what they have. They have the cold air intake, cat back exhaust, maybe long tube headers, probably E85, but that car's probably not a daily if you're doing E85. So 90% of the setups just look like that, with a regular exhaust and intake, long tube headers, and maybe a tune. And there will be those 10% of those people who will go crazy and really get into the aftermarket tuning, go E85 with the supercharger kits and all of that stuff. However, the S650 and even the S550, when I was getting tuned with the Lund Racing, they told me even if I add headers or colder intake, I don't really need a new tune, because these cars and their base tune basically covers that, and you're not really going to see tons of power difference with just a tune on it. Of course, if you have catless headers, they can tune it to not have the check engine light. But obviously, as you guys know, that Whipple has a kit for the 2024 Mustang GT. And that, to me, is what changes the game. Because Whipple, with their Whipple tune, will get you about 800 horsepower on your S650 Mustang. Now, I know it's not aftermarket tuning. And if you do aftermarket tuning, you might be able to squeeze more horsepower. And, of course, that also unlocks option to get a fuel pump and get E85 as well. Something you just can't do yet. But for people like myself, we're going to have a basic bolt-on setup, are covered with the S650 Mustang without a tune. And even if you want to go crazy, you can get a Whipple and make 800 horsepower with their factory Whipple tune. So that, to me, covers the basic demographic of the Mustang GT owners, and also people who want extra power like a supercharger turbo kit. Superchargers are covered with the factory tune. Now, I know it's not the same as aftermarket tuning, but if you were going to be one of those people who were going to take the S650 Mustang and go 1,000 horsepower plus, run E85 and all of that good stuff, and let's be honest, you really aren't out there to get the newest Mustang, because what you're concerned was the crazy power numbers. You're probably building a hot rod or, you know, S197 chassis and just shoving up a big blower to make good power with the E85 and all of that stuff. So you're not really concerned with the latest and greatest Mustang. So that was just never the target demographic in Ford's mind, and I can kind of see why. But yeah, so that's all I've got. I think that's where I was kind of wrong with the S650 Mustang, with the interior, the pricing, and for the tuning. I myself am considering a S650 Mustang. I'm just waiting for the right deal to pop up. I have to make the numbers work, because I kind of want to keep this car, which is why I'm struggling to let it go and just trade in for a new car. So we'll see how that works out. I would like it to be a dark horse, because I feel like going from a GT to a GT just won't make sense. And of course, as you guys know, dark horse are really expensive, especially with all the markup. So we'll see what we bring on the channel. There's definitely been some talks with the dealers to see, especially with the 2024 Mustang going out the lot and having tons of discounts on them. So make sure you are subscribed to see what we do with the channel next, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.